after
sit
everybody
down.
is seated, well, you don't sit, you come in, right? You stay standing. All of our faculty will then start to go right down here and stay standing. And then they'll cue in the graduates to come in.
And you stand while
We
the
stand while the
graduates,
graduates are coming in.
and then I'll go.
Once the graduates are there and they're standing, you can stand up and say, welcome and please be seated.
Well, I'm going to tell them to remain standing because
Oh, yeah,
everything I do,
true.
the next thing is to.
No, you don't want them standing while you're welcoming all of that, no?
All I do is that one little line, and then it comes. Please stand. Well, I'd like everyone to stand.
Well, see what Jerome's going to say, please stand. Or no, okay, well, there you go. You do it,
I'll
then. You
just
keep
say
it set. Yeah, keep them
remain.
standing then. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so the faculty are all going to come in. Carolyn's going to be on that very first chair. And then when we go through the program, she'll be ready to rock and roll.
Okay. And the award, that's for
They're
Congressman
in
then?
they're in sequential order, so that's congressmen and the rest of them.
Okay. And I'm
Cool.
the first one, so I could do that,
You
right?
can do that. Mm-hmm.
And then I could put this already at my
I
seat,
can go tell
maybe?
Deb because I'm going to release her. Yeah.
everyone to a very special evening. I would like everyone to stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by veteran student Jerome Collins, followed by the national anthem sung by campus bursar Glennis Monroe, and followed by the invocation offered by Director of Student Services, Teresa Slade.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please bow your heads for a word of prayer. Let us take a moment to reflect on the journey and accomplishments of the graduates that sit before us today. Dear God, we thank you for the blessings of this day. We thank you for those assembled here as we recognize, honor, and celebrate those who have completed their course of study and who will soon be embarking on the next stage of life's journey. We are grateful for Keiser University, the Tallahassee campus administrators led by our president and the faculty members who mentored and taught those graduates during their journey of discovery. We give thanks for the proud relatives, friends, acquaintances, and well-wishers gathered here, each of whom in their own way contributed to the achievements we celebrate. As these men and women go forth in pursuit of their dreams, may each continue to seek knowledge, pursue truth, and make a difference to the world using the knowledge and skills they have acquired here. These mercies we ask, amen.
Please be seated. Good evening, graduates, families, friends, and esteemed guest speaker, Congressman Dr. Neil Dunn. I welcome you this evening to our celebration of accomplishment. As president of the Keiser University Tallahassee campus, I welcome each of you this evening to a special kind of celebration, one where our students have persevered through many obstacles and have come out the other side successful. Some people say they haven't yet found themselves, but the self is not something one finds, it is something one creates. Graduation is the culmination of creating. Our graduates sitting before you tonight have made many sacrifices and have worked very hard to be here. But it is sacrifice and hard work that have ended in success. When I first met each of you at orientation, we completed an orange circle exercise. Does anyone remember this? Yep. We decided together that failure was not an option, that together we would only achieve success. You have created this success for yourselves, and I am so very proud of each and every one of you. Audience, please join me in giving them a well-deserved round of applause. Each of you will receive a diploma that includes the seal of Keiser University on its face. That diploma will open doors for you to allow you to create a new future for yourself. Some of the doors will open easily. Some of you may have to use a little bit of muscle to open them, but open they will. You are qualified to apply for positions today that may have rejected you yesterday without fairly looking at your abilities, because today you have a degree. The more knowledge you have, the greater your opportunities. Today should not conclude your learning. You should forever seek greater knowledge. Continue to create the world you live in by adding to your choices. The greater the knowledge you obtain, the greater are your opportunities. I know this group of graduates, and I know that you're up to the challenge. I hope today that you leave here with more than just the proper credential for the world of employment. I hope each of you is better prepared for a successful life, and I wish you the very best. Graduates, in just a few minutes, you will walk into the future as alumni of Keiser University. We hope each of you will stay connected to your alma mater by joining the Alumni Association. Every graduate received an alumni benefits package with information on the benefits of joining the Alumni Association. But I am now proud to call you a graduate, but not only a graduate, a member of the Keiser University family as well. Congratulations. At this time, I'd like to ask you to turn your attention to the screen for a short video about your alma mater, Keiser University.
Welcome, Keiser University graduates, friends, and families. Today is your day. You are now officially Keiser University alumni, and it's an exciting time to be a Keiser University Seahawk. We're pleased to welcome the next class of Keiser University alumni and honor our KU graduates who are prepared to move forward bravely and make a positive impact on their communities and this nation. We're proud of your commitment to Florida and our country. Co-founded by Dr. Arthur Keiser, Chancellor, and Evelyn Keiser with just one student over 44 years ago, today, Keiser University is Florida's largest not-for-profit university. KU is regionally accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools as one of the 30 independent not-for-profit universities in Florida. KU serves over 20,000 students from nearly 50 countries, 66,000 alumni, and 3,800 team members.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about Keiser University and what makes us different. From the very beginning, our commitment continues to be creating a strong learning environment for a serious-minded student who has a dream and who is looking for a quality education to lead them to a career. In fact, we have over 100 different associate to doctoral degrees. Our students also tell us that they're able to contribute and combine the things that matter to them the most: a solid education, a full college experience, one that includes service to the community, leadership, and of course, great athletics.
In 2020 and 2021, the Keiser University Seahawks earned 4 NAIA national championships in women's soccer, women's lacrosse, women's golf, and men's soccer. And for the first time in school history, Keiser University earned the NAIA Learfield Directors Cup, awarded annually to the nation's best overall athletic programs for athletic outcomes, academic success, and character. Located in 21 Florida communities, Keiser University also has campuses in Nicaragua and other international locations. Since its founding in 1977, inherent in our mission is service to the community. The university's philosophy has always been students first, and our commitment to our student extends beyond graduation. We provide lifetime job placement assistance to our alumni. Our goal is that every Keiser University graduate can become a contributing member of Florida's workforce. Our commitment also extends to our nation's heroes. Over 20% of Keiser University's student body is comprised of veterans, active duty service members, or military family members. Keiser University is the only higher educational institution with a campus on Florida's Patrick Space Force Base, furthering our educational commitment to our heroes and their families. And KU is quickly becoming a promising partner for the growing space industry in Florida. Our economic impact on the state of Florida is over $3 billion annually, and we remain an educational leader in meeting the critical needs of the workforce. In 2022, Keiser University was ranked number 1 in Florida and number 5 in the U.S. for social mobility by U.S. News and World Reports. KU is a member of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, one of only 19 schools in Florida to carry the designation, and was named 29th best Hispanic serving institution in the U.S. by Niche. Keiser University works together with industry advisory boards at each of our campuses to evaluate the strength of our curriculum and assess the potential educational needs of the communities we serve. We are a talent leader in creating a robust economy with graduates in defense and homeland security, transportation and logistics, cybersecurity and information technology, and nursing and other health sciences. Our campus in Naples is addressing Florida's nursing shortage at the master's and doctoral degree levels in nursing anesthesia. And in 2021, KU was again the largest producer of nurses in Florida. Our graduates are making their mark as industry and community leaders. As Keiser University graduates, we invite you to become a member of our Alumni Association. The KU Alumni Association is supported by volunteer alumni organized at each campus. Alumni councils can help you find former classmates, make new friends, build your professional and social networks, and continue lifelong learning at Keiser University. Keiser University graduates remain committed to improving the lives of those around them. They serve in your communities as first responders, teachers, and business leaders. They are the nurses on the front lines and the professionals behind the scenes, moving our state forward. Go Seahawk graduates, and congratulations.
Thank you. It is now my great pleasure to introduce you to and tell you a little bit more about your very own Dr. Robert Watkins, who is the Keiser University Department Chair of Mathematics. Anybody have Dr. Watkins here for math? Some of us, okay. Dr. Robert Watkins has served 13 years in the U.S. military and attended several universities before earning his PhD from FSU. At FSU, he received the English Department's Kingsbury Award, a teaching award from the Program for Instructional Excellence, and held a postdoctoral position as Associate Director of the College of Engineering's Machine Intelligence Lab. His research interests include pseudo-random number generation, anti-colony simulations, machine vision, and the co-evolution of mathematics and art. He is currently the Keiser University Department Chair of Mathematics and was recognized as UDC of the Year in 2019. He is happiest sharing his interests with others, most of all his students, so please welcome Dr. Robert Watkins to the stage.
Thank you, President Meade. I'm very happy to be here on graduation. There's nothing like it for putting a cap on your education. I also have the distinct honor of presenting to you our distinguished speaker, and he is quite distinguished. Dr. Neil Dunn represents the 2nd Congressional District of Florida, which includes all or part of 19 counties in Florida. He was a surgeon in Panama for over 25 years and in the U.S. Army for over 10 years before that. Dr. Dunn was the founding president of a large surgical practice and has a subspecialty interest in advanced prostate cancer. He was the founding chairman of a bank and served on multiple boards, including Enterprise Florida, Space Florida, Bay Cares, and the Florida Medical Association. Dr. Dunn currently serves on the House Energy and Commerce Committee, the oldest standing legislative committee in the U.S. House of Representatives. The committee has responsibility for matters including energy policy, interstate and foreign commerce, telecommunications, consumer protection, food and drug safety, public health and research, and environmental quality, among others. Dr. Dunn serves on the Subcommittee on Health, the Subcommittee on Consumer Protection and Commerce, and the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, as well as the Parliament of the NATO and the China Task Force. With all that to do, we should really thank him for making time to come and speak to us. Congressman Dr. Neil Dunn.
Well, let me say, Dr. Watkins, thank you very much for that extremely kind introduction. It's a great thing to be here. I want to say thank you also to President Maria. Thank you so much for having me. This is really a special honor. And let me say good evening to the graduates of 22 Keiser University. You will have very few moments like this in your life when your family, your community, your professors, your mentors get together with pride to recognize you. You should enjoy this moment. On an occasion like this, it serves you well to pause and reflect on those who were instrumental to your success. So take a moment to thank your family, your role models, the mentors who got you here, and say thank you to your favorite teachers and professors. Say thank you to those who taught you what it means to lead and showed you the benefit of serving others. And by the way, say thank you to that friend of yours who kept you out of trouble that Saturday night a couple of years ago. These people all have a share in your success and played a role in you being here today. So I'm going to ask the graduates now to stand, face your audience, your fans, and let's give them a round of applause. Get distracted there, sorry, gang. You put this back together. All right, now that you've thanked them, let's take a day to celebrate and reflect on how you arrived at this point. Try to remember the obstacles that you overcame and the lessons you learned on the way to get here. You're one of the few classes that had to deal with a pandemic. That's no small feat, and I'm afraid my generation didn't give you as much help with that as we might have. So take just one day for celebration and gratitude, but tomorrow the work begins. This milestone, while great, is just a milestone. It's not the end point. As you walk off the stage, I hope you're thinking about and looking forward to your future. You will have many conversations today. Most common questions you hear will be, what are your plans? What are your goals? What do you want to do with your life? I hope that you've given some thought to these questions and you have some satisfactory answers. But let me assure you, whatever your answers are, your goals and your plans will change, perhaps many times. And frankly, that's a good thing. Goals change for many reasons. New information, new opportunities, new technologies, adverse events in your life. Sometimes it's love. When I graduated from med school, I never had given a thought to serving in Congress. I was focused on my patients, soon to be patients. But my world changed around me and I felt called to serve in a different role. These sorts of things will happen to you, all of you, as well. So remember, you can change your goals, but you should always have goals. If you find yourself adrift with no goals, that's the time to stop and think. Having a good base of knowledge and good judgment will help you deal with the changing realities of your world and adapting your goals appropriately. Over the years, I've learned something about change. Sometimes we adapt, and other times we cause change. But always remember, change is absolutely going to happen. So you can fight it, you can adapt to it, or you can shape it. My own plan from high school on was to be a surgeon. I grew up in an Army family. All my role models were soldiers. So I chose to be an Army surgeon. I followed that path. In 1989, I was living that path, chasing my goals, hitting my marks. I was an attending surgeon at a large tertiary care hospital in Texas, happily married, 3 kids. I was on autopilot. But one night in December 1989, the Berlin Wall came down. Suddenly, the Cold War was over. Peace broke out. It was magical. I was 36 years old. There was never been a day in my life when the Cold War was not the overarching central focus of our military and foreign policy, indeed, most of our domestic policy as well. The Reagan tax cuts were working, the economy was growing beautifully, inflation was almost gone. World peace was the happy topic of our days. And so our country planned for a large peace dividend, and they were going to reduce the size of the Army. In retrospect, that seems naive. Nonetheless, the Army began a huge reduction in force, and young officers like myself left the Army in droves to join private practices or private businesses. That was a huge change for us. Of course, that peace lasted less than 6 months. In June of 1990, our Army staged over 400,000 American and Allied troops in Saudi Arabia on the border with Kuwait facing the Iraqi Army. It was the largest air, land, and sea battle group assembled since World War II, the first Gulf War. Change. When I became a civilian, I had no idea how to run a private medical practice, a small business. I adapted to these changes and set new goals with the help of mentors. But the practice of medicine was changing rapidly, and I had to learn another new set of skills, advocating for my patients and my profession with the government here in Tallahassee. For a time, we kept up with those changes, and we even prospered. But the burdens of government intervention in medicine kept growing until ultimately I felt I had to go to Washington to effect the change I wanted to see. Now I spend my days in a storm of change. Everything we do is about change. And every change has consequences. Some of these consequences are intended, and some of them are very much unintended. Recently, I had a chance to use my experience in medicine to serve on the front lines of the government's response to COVID-19. That was a change no one saw coming, but I was in the right place at the right time. Now we have another change. The ugly specter of imperialism has arisen from an 80-year slumber. We have Russia, China, Iran seeking to add territory by conquest, both hybrid and open warfare. Change is again in the air. So I would say to you is that you will have to deal with change. And to do that successfully, you're going to need some tools. So I'd like to share with you a few straightforward thoughts about the tools you're going to need in your future to deal with change. The first tool is a good education. So all of you have a head start. What you've learned at Keiser University, both in and out of the classroom, should have given you not only skills, but critical thinking skills. These are the skills that you'll take with you as you work and serve in whatever fields you choose. These skills will help you deal with change and be an agent for good change in your communities. I urge you to judge carefully which information you use to deal with that change. Unfortunately, the world has become a cesspool of misinformation and disinformation. Use your critical thinking skills wisely. Another tool you're going to need is perseverance. Regarding this, I have a bit of bad news for you. Some of your worst days are probably ahead of you. Now, I don't say that to cast a pall on this day of celebration, but rather to remind you that you do have a lifetime ahead of you. And during that time, you will make mistakes. You will experience bad luck, and you will have failure. Those failures will not define you. How you react to those moments will define you, to yourself and to the whole world. Perseverance in the face of adversity will help you deal with change and define who you are. You're also going to need some personal ethics. Take some time, if you haven't already, to reflect on what are your personal values. What do you hold dear in life? Friends, family, country. You should know the answer to these questions ahead of time. Without a code of ethics, you really are just a hollow shell. You're going to find it hard to love yourself, and others will find it hard to love you too. Don't be that person. Punctuality is another important tool that will serve you well in life. The more people who work for you, the more important this is. Your punctuality shows them you respect them and their time. If you're rarely late, people understand it just happens. But if you're habitually late, you're just rude, and people know it. Be punctual. Attitude. It's been said that success is 20% skill and 80% attitude. That may vary a little bit, but it's just about right. Nobody wants to work with, play with, or be with anyone with a bad attitude. A bad attitude never led to success. Be positive. Be respectful. It makes all relationships easier. And you never know. The other guy might be right. Finally, you're going to need mentors all your life. If I've learned one thing in life, you never stop learning. Mentors will guide you, and when needed, they can give you honest, critical advice. I've been blessed with some great mentors, men and women who've changed my life in more ways than I can possibly count. I want to share briefly the story about one of those mentors with you, and his name might be familiar to some of you here. Alan Bentz was a former Speaker of the House here in Florida, a successful businessman, and a leader of our community in many, many ways. You may be surprised to hear that the story of his early life was one of hard times, adversity. He was orphaned at a young age. Both of his parents perished. He lost the family farm. He worked his way through school as a janitor, a stable hand, and picking watermelons, which is backbreaking work. Try to appreciate for a moment just how the deck was stacked against him. He had no family, no property, no money. His only assets were a keen mind, a good work ethic, and a good attitude. He went to college, added a good education, and the rest is history. He became one of the most respected leaders and businessmen in the state. When I arrived in Panama City, I was a novice. I had never owned a business. In terms of complying with government regulations to run my medical practice, I was a babe in the woods. I was fortunate to meet Alan Bentz, who was coaching a youth soccer team one of my sons was on. And the first thing that shone through about Alan was that as a coach, he was teaching much more than soccer. He was teaching sportsmanship, citizenship, leadership. He allowed no dirty plays, no trash talking or referees, no childish temper tantrums, and no parental temper tantrums on the sidelines either. To this day, that son names Alan Bentz as his favorite coach of all time, although he remained in sports all through his life, including the NFL. This man stood out because of his abilities, his ethics, and his attitude. And despite being one of the busiest people in the city, he took the time to mentor these kids on that team and me. He taught me how to advocate for my patients in Washington and in Tallahassee. He shared the ethics of the nuances of ethical leadership and the importance of actually helping your community. He continues to do that today. So my message to you is look for good mentors. They don't just fall into your lap, but they're out there. You have to be willing to ask for help, and you have to be willing to earn that help. In closing, if you remember nothing else from today, remember that when the cards are stacked against you, you can accomplish almost anything with a good education, perseverance, good ethics, and a good attitude. Keep using the talents that got you this far, and your future is bright indeed. It's a great honor for me to be with you to celebrate your accomplishments today. I know that your family, your loved one, and your mentors all join me in hoping that you keep your tools sharp and your vision focused on the future. Class of 22, congratulations. Good luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Congressman, on behalf of Keiser University and our graduating class of 2022, we'd like to offer you this plaque in appreciation.
Thank you so much.
There's our photographer.
There he is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, President.
We would like to take a moment to thank the Florida legislature for passing the Every Child a Swimmer legislation in 2021. This bill requires that public school systems in Florida during the kindergarten entry process ask parents to consider checking a box regarding if they have provided the swim lessons to their child. Parents can choose to answer the question or not, but simply asking the question guarantees that every parent becomes aware of this important parental responsibility. This bill is not a mandate and will not impact the budget of any school system in the state. What this bill will do is serve as a cautionary reminder to families that swimming is important, much like warning signals when approaching a pedestrian walkway or intersection. To continue our community service and our students and service to our students, we see an incredible opportunity to change lives by building a new aquatic center on our flagship campus. This aquatic center will provide a home for the national champion Seahawks swim teams, a catalyst for sports tourism in South Florida, a place to train and mentor future Olympians, and a venue for children in our community to learn to swim. Please direct your attention to a short video regarding our aquatic center and upcoming November 2nd event. Thank you.
It's a huge, huge safety as a father myself and making sure that my children are water safe. That peace of mind with so many bodies of water, and I'm just glad that Keiser University can help partner with every child a swimmer to ensure that safety.
This center will become a place to train and mentor Olympic hopefuls and teach the life-saving skills of swimming to our children and families.
We look to embrace more of these initiatives for the benefit of the whole state and the community.
A lot of kids don't know how to swim. A lot of kids liking the water and everything. So Keiser having that special treatment for the guys to learn how to swim, learn how to be able to function with water. I think Keiser's going to contribute to that tremendously.
Helping the youth, helping the younger generation out. This community, building a new facility here will help that out. When the pool's ready, I'll come down and I'll do a swim clinic or something.
Thank you. Okay, so before we get started with going on to announce our graduates and valedictorian, I want to just give you the rules for this evening. There are no rules. All right, have some fun. Cheer and go crazy when your graduate gets up on the stage. Enjoy yourself. And I'd like to now introduce you to our Dean of Academic Affairs, Mr. Dean Sham Mistry, up to the stage. Thank you.
You guys are too kind. Graduates, friends, family, distinguished guests, my beloved faculty. This is your day, but it's also a little bit of my day and their day. Family, friends, we've been through it all with these students. When I showed up today and I went downstairs, I got all these hugs and handshakes, and I have no idea who these people are. I've never seen them look this way. But you know what? We loved you at the worst, and we love you even more now. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Congratulations. At Keiser University, we're so unique. We don't care about producing mass graduates into the community. It's about each one of your stories. That's what makes us tick. We shut the campus down this afternoon. Everyone from our campus is in the building tonight to support you all, okay? And learning about your story from the day you walked in the building, met with your admissions counselor, had it out with your financial aid advisor, went and cried to Ricardo about your schedule, and then got into your class. I wish now that I could have created a little bit of a before and after. Mr. Hoople was wearing tie-dye shirts, and now he's the cleanest, crispest man I know on campus. So And that's what really makes us special, to learn about you, who you are, where you've come from, and where you're trying to go in the future. So as you walk across the stage, you get your diploma, you shake the hands, make sure you then give back to your family, give back to the community, and really give back to Keiser. And what I mean by that, when you're working and you're big time and you're hiring people, come back and get the next group, because you know what you went through, those are the people you want working for you, okay? So just make it a point, come back and speak to the future classes and let them know what it's like on the back end of things. And when we talk about students' stories, I'm going to introduce someone here today that I just met for the first time a few months back. Little did I know, she's a 3-time Keiser graduate. She's a part of our advisory board, and she's got one heck of a story. So for the very first time, we are going to have a Distinguished Graduate Award, and I'm going to bring to the stage Miss Brenda Bowman-Sizemore. Come on up, Brenda. Of course.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Bowman-Sizemore, and I'm honored to be here tonight. My education journey with Keiser University began in 2003. When I came to Keiser University, it was then named Keiser College, so it's a while back. I owned a cleaning service. My education was limited to being a high school graduate, and I had 3 young children. They both graduated this year, one from college, one from high school. On the way to my first class, my car caught on fire and burnt to the ground. I should have known what was to come. I considered not attending that night, but I did anyway. During this class, my instructor, who I met, Dr. Manello, introduced students to the importance of public speaking and goal setting and overcoming obstacles. At the time, I didn't realize how what he was introducing me to would impact my future. My future profession would require me to speak before judges, jurors, attorneys, citizens, but because Keiser University's attention to detail on who they hire and who interacts with their students, my instructor knew what I was going to face. He had me speak in front of the class every night till I got it right, and look where I am today. After graduating in 2004 with my AA in criminal justice, I was immediately hired as a non-sworn investigator. In 2005, I enrolled into Police Academy and was hired as a law enforcement officer in 2006. As an officer, I not only worked patrol, but spent many hours compiling traffic, arrest, and crime data for my department. For impaired driving campaigns, that was me. I spent hours poring over data to determine where our agency's enforcement efforts were needed most. Today, as an internal affairs investigator, I often review patterns to determine if it's probable an event may or may not have occurred. While studying probability during my college math course, Dr. Watkins, bless his soul, would explain the concepts until I understood. It wasn't just one time, it was many. He would combine the lessons with his own experiences, and I was intrigued. But like many, I never gave much thought about how I would use this knowledge in my criminal justice profession. Thank you, Dr. Watkins. What you taught me has greatly contributed to my professional success. In 2008, I returned to Keiser University and completed my bachelor in criminal justice. I became a training officer and a law enforcement instructor while developing an appreciation for police ethics. Therefore, in 2009, with the encouragement of my loved ones and my instructor, Dr. Smith, I earned my master's in criminal justice with my capstone focusing on law enforcement ethics. In 2009, I was the first female officer to be promoted to sergeant at my agency. I was advised my education was a factor that allowed me to surpass other candidates during the scoring process. Also in 2009, I was nominated by Keiser University and awarded the National Career College Award. I was then selected by my agency to attend the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Leadership Academy, and I attribute my nominations and successes to the educational foundation I received from my staff at Keiser University. In 2012, I began my doctoral journey with Keiser University's Education Leadership Program. However, in 2014, I withdrew due to life obstacles. I learned long ago there will be obstacles, but to not lose sight of your end goal. I returned to my program in late 2017, and in 2018, I completed my comprehensive examinations and earned my Education Leadership Specialist degree. During 2009 through 2020, a job change, family crisis, and COVID challenged me. Every skill I learned was tested. My dissertation chair, Dr. Adragna, scheduled frequent appointments and telephone calls, while my loved ones provided me a lot of emotional support. During my pre- and post-dissertation defense, the ability to write, speak, support, and articulate my responses was due to the foundation built by my instructors while I attended Keiser. On October 24, 2021, I earned my doctorate in education leadership. To those that supported and encouraged me, I thank you. Thank you for the love, for the encouragement and wisdom through my journey. During this journey, a wise person told me, flexibility equals sustainability. I believe this to be true. As I stand with those in which I began, congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you. Brenda, stay right. Thank you, Brenda. I have a special award for you.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful job. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. All right. It is now my pleasure to introduce your 2022 class valedictorian, Mr. Joseph Hicks III. Come on up, Joseph. Congratulations.
Good evening and welcome, Keiser University Seahawks graduating spring class of 2022. I am your valedictorian, Joseph Glenn Hicks III, and I am thrilled to have earned this honor from the largest non-for-profit private university in the state of Florida. Administration, faculty, staff, alumni, esteemed guests, internet viewers, and my fellow students. Today, we join over 66,000 other graduates who have walked before us at Keiser University and proudly join their ranks as degree-holding, transitioning alumni. Give yourself a hand for that. I would like to take this opportunity before I get started, I believe I have started, but to thank my beautiful wife, who is talented and creative, who not just puts up with me, but two smaller versions of myself that are at different points in development, much like the Zollinger's evolution chart, I suppose. She daily manages to wrangle and to focus and stir our love and passion for life with ingredients of reality, hard-fought philosophy, and grit in order to keep our recipe for life balanced, productive, and happy. I want to thank our two poor children, Jax and Julian, who did not choose to be born to us and will forever be burdened with being involuntarily captive, held hostage, and even perhaps forced to share a home with two elderly millennials and overly opinionated parents. They have no idea what that means. They are 4 and 16 weeks, but they will see that one day. I promise you, however, your very existence fuels the driving internal force and motivation behind why I stand before this audience today and wake up every day with the desire to be a leader, a role model, and a better father. I would also like to thank the absolute best mother and father-in-law a man could be blessed with, who could not be here today, Alice and Maddie Yates, who are the stabilizing force and reason and support system that keeps two exhausted, overachieving parents reasonable, rational, and somewhat sane in the middle of a time period that I believe even the history books will agree feels anything but rational, sane, and reasonable. Today I stand before you not just as valedictorian and classmate in this world marred with an uncertain feeling future, but as a person who has become painfully familiar, like you, with responding to and overcoming adversity. You see, today is not the toughest speech I've ever had to make. I originally signed up to attend Keiser University as a transfer student in October of 2019. But right before I was to start attending, I was given tragic news from my family. It was news that would change the trajectory of my life. I received an unexpected call from my family explaining to me that my father's health was rapidly declining and I needed to come home to Huntsville, Alabama immediately. The doctors had made a grave mistake and originally thought my father had only a small benign brain tumor. However, upon further investigation, that tumor was found to be malignant and was located on the frontal lobe of his brain, and in conjunction with the medication they were administering to him, was causing major episodes, and they feared the end was near. I was devastated by this news. My father was only 59 years old. I was his only child, and we were extremely close. He was the first call I would make for good news or bad. He was the voice of reason and remains that in my conscience to this day. I was majorly conflicted between keeping a promise to finish school I had made to him and my family, while also weighing out postponing finishing my education, or worse yet, just moving home and taking care of my family. If that was not enough to ponder, I was also to be married at the end of October to my now wife, Jessica. And a week before this news, I had been told by my employer here in Tallahassee of 7 years that I would be let go from my general management position. They decided to go in another direction. And worse yet, I found out that I was being let go and being used as a scapegoat in order to make the company look like they were taking internal action in order to fight a workman's comp claim from an employee under my supervision that had been injured on the job I was unaware of. It was a complete tornado of chaos that had came through and was stealing away what was supposed to be a happy time of getting married and continuing my education. Now, I just lost my career and was in the process of losing my father. I had some real problems staring me in the face, hard decisions to make, and ultimately a ton of adversity to overcome. I had to take a long, hard, deep look inside and ask myself some difficult questions. Those questions, I came to the conclusion that the reality were that we're all going to die, and so are your loved ones. No words and thoughts and prayers can prepare you for that. We are all going to move on from jobs and positions because it's inevitable in business cycles. And in life, we can only control certain variables that lead to our outcomes. So I started doing exactly that. I made the decision that I could, and I started school that October. On October 31st, I married my wife. It was a simple ceremony where we pinched pennies, and thanks to my mother and father-in-law, as well as a bunch of our closest, weirdest friends dressed in costume, we became husband and wife in the eyes of the state of Florida. It was amazing. Then only 2 weeks later, my father passed away. We thought he was only going to the hospital for a short stay, but he passed away during that stay. We had a last moment embrace where I felt him say goodbye, Even though he couldn't physically muster the words, he stared into my eyes and a single tear rolled down his cheek. It was the ultimate low after the ultimate high in marrying my wife. I then proceeded to write his eulogy, which was the hardest speech I've ever given. I gave no awesome closure, no epic overture of his life, but I merely shared the experience of being his son and how I was keeping my promise to him to finish my education at Keiser University in Tallahassee, Florida. I left that funeral on a mission to keep my promise, and today I stand here with a degree in my hand completing that mission. Thank you so much. He would be very proud. But this is my story, but as I have met Keiser University students like yourself, I've come to understand that my story is not uncommon. All the students here are not traditional. We have all been through trials and tribulations, ups and downs, and have ultimately had to face our individual challenges and overcome all manner of adversity. That is what is great about being a Keiser University Seahawk. We share that bond. That is why it's truly special to stand up here today, not because of my story, not because of the achievement of being valedictorian, but because I represent a single story among so many with similar stories about this institution. This is a shared strength, is the reason why this diploma from Keiser University means more for us. While we are not just walking off the stage with a piece of paper saying we finished the courses, we are walking off the stage with a degree and a piece of paper to show for what it represents against bad circumstances, our victory against heartbreak and our victory against odds stacked against us. It represents finishing strong and overcoming everything in our path to do so. This piece of paper from Keiser University as a Seahawk graduate is what businesses need and desire in the workforce. They want someone who not just passed the material in order to possess a degree, but they want the people who had to overcome adversity and challenges while pursuing that degree and really want it. And I see people in front of me that wanted it. So I say to you today, thank you, don't compromise now. Keep pushing. Don't settle for a job in your field with some company that doesn't treat you right. Make that organization better because of who and what you are and what you've been through. Oh, and I forgot to mention that little company that fired me. We became quite acquainted with a retained lawyer and both agreed that it was in their best interest to settle. Because I know a great attorney in training, my wife. But you got to stick to your guns. You have to use your knowledge as your weapon in life, and your education from here as Keiser as your sword. And I appreciate that so much. Thank you for your time. I give you all my love, and it is an honor to have this opportunity today.
Congratulations, Joseph. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Good job. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. See, you know what he's doing? It's okay. You want to use my phone?
Beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you again. Fantastic. Beautiful. Another round of applause for Mr. Hicks. Wow. Next, I'd like to celebrate one more student before we celebrate as a group. This individual is also a 3-time graduate of Keiser University, and now my friend. Now I can say that. Mr. Derek Mitchell, come on up, our class salutatorian. Congratulations. Graduates, time to have a little fun now, okay? Let's celebrate together. And I just wanted to send a special request out. We've got people from all over the country. I heard Bermuda is in the house tonight somewhere. Where are they at? We've got students overseas that are graduating today, so I just want to say thank you. And before we had our graduation tonight, last week, Wednesday, we did a special grad recognition night, and Mr. Mitchell over here said, I need 95 tickets to graduation. I was like, Derek, we have 50 graduates and we're sold out, and this is fantastic. I couldn't have asked for more. Okay, so just thank you all for coming. Thank you all for appreciating what this means to us. And as we continue now, we are going to especially recognize our graduates of distinction. So as I read the descriptions, and if you're wearing special regalia tonight, please stand. For those students earning an associate degree who received honors of a 3.5 to a 3.74 GPA on a 4.0 scale are wearing a silver cord, please rise and applaud them for their success. Will the associate degree candidates wearing a gold cord please rise? These candidates received high honors with a 3.75 to a 4.0 GPA. Will the bachelor degree candidates wearing bronze stoles please rise to be honored as cum laude with a 3.5 to a 3.69 GPA? Will the bachelor degree candidates wearing silver stoles please stand to be honored as magna cum laude with a GPA of 3.79 to 3.89? Will the bachelor degree candidates wearing gold stoles please stand to be honored as summa cum laude with a GPA of 3.9 to 4.0? And the candidates wearing blue and white cords received a perfect 4.0 GPA. We got any in the crowd this afternoon? Come on. And those candidates wearing a red cord completed the university's Leadership Distinction Program. Please rise to be recognized. This next group of graduates that I'm going to call went above and beyond. They took the extra step and participated in programmatic honor societies, national student clubs, Keiser University's Greatness Leadership Program, and as I call these organizations, please stand and remain standing. The Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society, Alpha Phi Sigma Criminal Justice National Honor Society, Delta Mu Delta Business Administration Honor Society, Lambda Nu Radiologic Technology Honor Society, the Student Government Association. Stace. Mr. Mitchell, I want you standing, please. Go ahead and come on, stand up. The Greatness Leadership Program, our Student Veterans of America, and I'm going to start shouting out now. What about our returning graduates? How many 2, 3, 4-time graduates do we have? Come on. What about our students who are parents. Any parents in the building? Come on, stand up. Any first-time college graduates out here? Come on. Congratulations, Seahawks. Great job. Now at this time, it's time to present the graduates. I'm going to move on over to that podium. If y'all are ready, one step at a time, okay? Not too excited. Those are for the graduates, or the PhD. Brenda first. Jody, switch with Brenda real quick. Go behind her. I need a mic. I'm not live. Testing, testing. I'm not hot. Testing. There we go. Beautiful. Receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership, Brenda Bowman Sizemore. Receiving a Master of Arts in Business Administration, Leanna Gray. Receiving a Master of Arts, Business Administration, Derek T. Mitchell. There should be 95 of you in the building. I want to be a little bit louder than that. Receiving a Master of Arts in Business Administration, Jason Howard. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, Joseph Glenn Hicks III. Sharika Ford. This way, Sharika. Yeah, right here. Samavati Morris. two-time graduate. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, Brandy Ray. Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, Brandy Ray. Very sorry, Brandy. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, Seth Hoople. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Health Services Administration, Sharita Brooks. Edwin Jeter. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Jakia Davis. Kashayla Holmes. Sarah Proctor. Shelby Rogers. Receiving a Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences, two-time graduate, Heather Hamlin. Amanda Shepard. Right here. Receiving a Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies with a concentration in Health Services, Kirsten Belford. Bachelors of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies with a concentration in Business, Ayana Seabrooks Leonard. Bachelors of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies with concentration in Psychology, Tyler Williams. Bachelors of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies with concentration in Business, Patrina Alexander. 150 tickets for Patrina. Receiving a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Ronald Dolce. Bachelors of Science in Nursing, Alexis McComb. Receiving an Associates of Arts in Health Services Administration, Javarius Johnson. Receiving an Associate of Arts in Paralegal Studies, Stephanie Romaine. Receiving an Associate of Science in Culinary Arts, Stephen Brent Panoski. Associate of Science, Information Technology, Mac Woodward III. Associate of Science, Medical Billing and Coding, Pauline Bennett. Congratulations, Ms. Bennett. Tracy Dees. Congrats, Tracy. Meredith Lanier. Receiving their Associate of Science in Medical Assisting, Ashanti Alford. Jamisha Bryant. Mrs. Kiera Kashonda Boyd. Ms. Raquita Contriva Rochelle Crumity. This is more than what you added the first time. Tracy Evans. Keandra Aubriana Sherelle Henderson. DeAndrea Marion. Ariel McLeod. April McPherson. Good job, April. Jadavian Scott. Crystal Taylor. Felicia Weatherspoon. Good job, Felicia. Takima West. Laquana Weish. Receiving their Associate of Science in Nursing, Shirley Atkins. Emily Hay. Jennifer Lynn Nixon. Receiving their Associate of Science in Occupational Therapy Assisting, Alicia Betts. Good job, good job. Paris Bryant. Karan Matthews. Kimberly Smith. Antonio Stevenson. Zoe Whitaker. Receiving their Associate of Science in Radiologic Technology, Adrian Akins. Danica Bean Wilson. Nicole Dandy. Receiving their Bachelor of Science in Sports Medicine and Fitness Technology, Jerome Collins. Now at this time, I'd like for you all to turn your attention to the screen. There's two graduates not in attendance tonight that we'd like to recognize, both of which are working in their career fields in Germany. I'd like to recognize Valeria Uhr from the Associate of Science in Baking and Pastry, and Venetra Scanes, the Associate of Science in Culinary Arts. Graduates, please rise. Madam President, may I present to you the candidates for awarding of the doctoral, master's, bachelor's, and associate degrees at Keiser University, Tallahassee.
Whew. Okay, by the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Keiser University, the Tallahassee, Florida campus, and the Florida Department of Education, I hereby award you your degree with all rights, privileges, and honors thereunto appertaining. Graduates, you may move your tassels from left to right. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Keiser University class of 2022. Woo! Congratulations, graduates. You may be seated. Again. Woo. All right, how about one more round of applause for those graduates? Come on. I would like to thank everyone for coming this evening. Congratulations to all the graduates. You should be very proud of your accomplishment this evening. I'd like to thank Congressman Dunn for being here this evening. I'd like to thank our campus administration, our faculty and staff. I want to thank you to all the student ushers for assisting. A special thanks to Teresa Slade, Wanda Bailey, and Elise Brown, and Jake for coordinating tonight's event, and our special guest from the Office of the Chancellor, Andrew McTighe, who helped the campus and came all the way from South Florida to do so. We appreciate you. And most importantly, thank you, graduates, for choosing Keiser University to share your educational journey. At this time, we ask that everyone rise. Please honor our graduates one last time. Esteemed graduates, after the ceremony, you are welcome to give your rose to someone you would like to show your appreciation to for helping you on the road to this huge accomplishment. Graduates, please remain standing until the faculty and program participants on stage exit the auditorium. Guests, please remain as the graduates exit the auditorium, and have a wonderful evening celebrating your special graduate. Thank you, and God bless.